Hey guys, this is Dylan and Neil from Beyond the Sights. Appreciate you joining us today. We're going to do a review of the Canik TP9 SA. Here's the gun. This Canik made in Turkey and imported by Century Arms for the US market. It is marketed, right on the slide it says Canik by Century Arms. Canik, this is made in Turkey and then imported in here in the US. The original design, the TP9 version, is based on the Walther P99. This is the SA model upgraded with the single action trigger. This is a striker fired action pistol. Some of the things this gun really surprised me. It has a full length guide rod.
Full length steel guide rod.
Right, and it functioned fine. Didn't have any issues with that. The other thing that really surprised us is it had a polished feed ramp. I'll show that on camera later, but it's really highly polished. Didn't have any feeding issues. We shot at about 200 rounds at some IDPA targets. It functioned flawlessly. It ran as fast as we could pull the trigger. Didn't have any issues. Mag changes were clean. And that's one of the nicest, biggest features of that is the Meteor magazines. They're full metal frame. The follower and magazines are real stiff. One little feature I would like to see is the magazines are not numbered, the indicating holes. So it would be nice if they laser etched or something that indicated how many rounds you had at each hole without you having to count. But it's a really nice upgrade for the price point of this gun. And these guns usually come in around $350. Neil, we shot it quite a bit. What do you think after shooting it?
Yeah, I was really impressed with the fit and finish of it. Everything's nice, rounded. It fits well in the hand. I have rather large hands, so I found the grip a little narrow for me. It does have a extra back strap that can be changed out for the smaller one that is on there. The texture on it's really good. I think that's kind of a happy medium thing. You have to find what works for you versus what you can actually carry next to your body. While I wouldn't be so fast as to recommend it as a defensive pistol yet, for what it is, it ran absolutely flawlessly for the rounds we did put through it.
Yeah, for the price point of this gun, I mean, it'd be kind of hard to beat. I don't know of anything else in this price point that would kind of compete with it. Maybe some of your low-end Smiths. I know they make an auto-loading pistol that is kind of in that sub $400 range. The magazine's great. The texture, it's a little bit lower on the sides, but it has checkering on the front strap and the back strap that I found gave me a pretty good purchase on the gun. The only thing that I had an issue with is the slide lock. Is when I was shooting it, I ride my thumbs really high on the gun, and so the slide wouldn't lock back with me because I'm riding it. But it ran pretty good. We shot it quite a bit. It was actually kind of surprising. The trigger feels great. I would say that for a stock trigger, it's as good as the Walther PPQ, the VP9, the HK VP9. I'd say it beats a Glock out of the box.
Absolutely.
As far as trigger performance. The reset was nice and crisp. Pre-travel, nice wall, clean break, real fast, short, crisp, tactical reset. The trigger guard, even it being square, allows me to get a really good purchase and get out here on the gun. It was just real surprising to me how well it actually did.
Now, there are a lot of features on this gun at the $350 price point that you won't find on guns twice that price. Glocks have a polymer recoil assembly in them. The factory trigger on this thing rivals Glocks, Smith & Wesson, you name it. For a fighting style trigger, a fighting gun style trigger, I would say it's more than sufficient, and accuracy was surprising too.
Right. Yeah, size-wise, this kind of competes right with the Glock 17. Size is pretty comparable. Pretty much the grip, the slide, everything's, the width is very similar. Obviously, the biggest difference is the grip angle and how that feels. But very comparable if you're used to a Glock 17, or a Walther PPQ. you know, or P99, which this gun is based on, all that's going to fit and feel very familiar to you. Takedown is pretty simple. Takedown is very similar to Glock. You have to pull the trigger.
Well, with the decocker on it, you actually don't. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Well, let's try that. Do you have to pull the trigger, or can you just decock?
You can utilize the decocker to take it down.
Of course, the thing won't go right together now.
You just have to pull it past it.
It's cocked. Decock it. Yep. So you can use the decocker lever or pull the trigger and it'll slide right off. Full length guide rod. The barrel is cold hammer forged in this. I know that's something with their newer models they are going away with, but on this model, the SA, it does have a cold hammer forged barrel. Nice highly polished feed ramp. The internals are pretty similar to the Walther gun it's based on. The trigger looks very much like a PPQ striker action trigger.
The machining finish on the internal parts alone is absolutely impressive for the price point. I looked through it, I found no major tool marks, nothing that would give rise to any indication of quality control issues, which is one thing that people tend to say they might have issues with. From this specimen, I'm not seeing any indication of it whatsoever.
Well, it comes with a nice metal sights. It's the 3-dot variety, which is pretty standard nowadays. They are metal. They held up well. They pointed well. I'm not the biggest fan of the 3-dot sight setup. I like a plain black rears, but they seem to work well and function for what they were.
I have racked this thing off my belt, off my boot. I dare not do that with factory Glock with the plastic sights and tear them to pieces, but it was really surprising at the price point to have metal sights that do work as well as they do.
Right, and even their accuracy testing, we were shooting about 10, 11 yards offhand. We had a 3-inch and a 2-inch group, certainly combat effective. They seem to work well. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
And that's this decocker right on top, sits right on the slide. As soon as you hit it, it decocks. What's your opinion on that?
While it's an unnecessary feature, it has been really a non-issue for us. It's gotten a lot of flack in the recent past here from multiple reviewers. Kind of anything from don't buy this gun at all because of it to it's a non-issue, which is where we kind of sit on it. It's really a non-issue. The only issue that this needs to be taken care of in a hurry, and I think Canik is actually doing that with their new SF model of this gun, where they get rid of that decocker. If you drop this thing, in Murphy's Law, it will happen eventually. If it hits at this angle, not so much here, but anywhere about here, it will function that decocker.
So the real issue that we've seen with the decocker, which we've demonstrated and tested, which I won't do on film, is if you drop this gun from waist height or above and it lands in the upright position or hits the front of the barrel, then it will decock the gun, rendering it useless.
And it did so 7 out of 10 times.
Right. Now, to function, you rack the slide and it puts it back in action, but then you're also losing a round out of the chamber as well. Neil, would you buy one?
I'd absolutely buy one for use on the range or use in, if you're getting into competition, if you're just getting into it, this thing will perform near flawlessly from what I can tell. I'd like to get a few more rounds through it to really give a full recommendation on it.
Right. How many mags does it come with?
It comes with 2 mags. It also comes with a Serpa style holster
So here's the holster it comes with. It is the, I believe Black Hawk makes a Serpent holster. Very similar style. You gotta push the button to draw the firearm out. You know, I see a lot of people having those on the range. I don't think either one of us are a fan of that because
Absolutely
of the location of your trigger finger in proximity to the trigger when you clear the holster. I much prefer my open style holsters where you don't have to hit anything. It just comes with your standard belt loop attachment and then the paddle as well. We ran it with the paddle, didn't have any issues, it had good security. You do have to put it together out of the box, so it does not come already put together. That's one of our thoughts. I think I might not buy this model, the SA. I think I would wait and get the SF model, or they're coming out with the SFX model, which is the long slide competition geared that even is cut out and has modules for slide mounted optics. So that's something I'm looking forward to, getting one of those, testing one of those. But as far as the trigger, the grip, the manual of arms, so to speak, on this gun, everything functioned. We didn't have any issues. You know, it feels good in the hand. It shoots good. You know, for something that's budget minded, you know, especially with these SA models, they keep getting cheaper every week, I see. So it's definitely something you can pick up and throw in your truck. Use as a home defense gun. It would be really good for all those.
Magged up too. Yeah. One big thing, I want to give a shout out to Nate Geimer over at gunprodeals.com for sending us the gun to review.
Cool. Thanks for watching.